Hello everybody and welcome to a Pioneer video. For today we're going to be doing a nice little dono deck list by Stack. Thank you so much, Stack, for that. And we're going to be trying out a cool deck. It's an interesting approach in the red-green vehicles deck that has been, I'm going to say, like mainstay of the Pioneer format for a minute now. And this version of the deck is interesting because it's actually going with some Hazoret. This card, which was fantastic back in its standard format, it kind of took over that standard format for a second there. It looks really solid in the context of an aggressive deck like this one. Like, you're trying to do one thing and one thing only, which is end the game, right? Like, get your opponent's life total to 0. And Hazoret really helps in that regard. Obviously, you know, Reckless Stormseeker is another haste threat, so going off with the haste threat seems very, very nice. You know, having so much surprise haste damage can be really, really powerful. Another aspect I really like about this deck is the amount of good creature lands that it has access to. So we have 2 Lair of the Hydra, 1 Den of the Bugbear, and 3 Mutables. All of these, like, having threats in your mana base means that you are playing a pretty large curve, so you want to be playing like 23, 24, maybe even 25 lands, but you want to minimize the chances of flooding because obviously you're also playing a bunch of Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystics, so you're playing some extra mana sources in here as well. Well, having access to such powerful creature lands, particularly Lair and the Den, really mitigate the downside of like potentially flooding. So it feels a lot more comfortable to have more lands when you're going to be able to sink your mana into some powerful effects in order to just not fall behind. So that's very nice. Also, Copperline Gorge really, really helped. Like the printing of this in the previous set, which Brothers War, I think it was. I can't even remember anymore. This kind of land is exactly what this deck was needing, because, you know, usually you want, like, these lands are good. Like the pathways are pretty solid. But the problem that they had is you may want a green mana on turn 1 because you want to play your elf, and then on turn 2 you actually really want to have access to red mana. Or, you know, for example, we have like Embercleave and Chandra in the sideboard for like double red. Sure, they are 6 drops, but you see what I'm saying. Like, you have requirements that actually call for both colors of mana at different points in the curve. So having access to lands that actually produce both of them individually as opposed to one or the other can be really, really valuable. So the rest of the deck is just like a bunch of aggressively costed creatures, I would say. We have Bone Crusher, which is removal / a threat. We have Miglos, which is 1 card from Phyrexia will be 1. 3 mana, 4/4. It comes into play with 5 old counters, and then you can give it Vigilance and Menace. So you give it Evasion, you can give it +2/+2, or you can literally just destroy an artifact and enchantment, which is like a great effect in such an aggressive creature. So really, really cool. We also have the actual vehicles that give the deck its name. In this case, as you can see, this is Gruul boat. So we have the boat, of course, and then Esika's Chariot, honestly one of my favorite cards in all of Pioneer. Like, this card is really, really sweet, super cool, big fan of this one. We have a bunch of removal as well. Roast, mostly because it's so important to answer Shieldred, and we actually do see 3 more copies of Roast in the sideboard. That's very important. And then we have a split of Obliterating Bolt and Lightning Strike. The reason for this, even though obviously Obliterating Bolt deals more damage, Lightning Strike actually deals with a Greasefang specifically, with Greasefang being one of the big contenders in the format right now. We also have in the sideboard Fry, again, more answers to Greasefang and potentially some Planeswalkers. We have a Crown War, fantastic card versus opposing creature decks. And then Chandra as your top-end threat versus control decks or grindy decks. Embercleave against the combo decks where we're trying to race and we're trying to end the game as fast as possible and they don't have too much interaction for our creatures. And finally, a couple of copies of Damping Sphere because, you know, Lotus Field is a deck in the format. So having access to Damping Sphere seems important. This is a Giganta deck, but obviously whenever we bring in Embercleave and Chandra, we're going to miss that. Seems fine. Seems fine. Like, Giganta seems great in a deck like this that actually cares about just having a random silly 5/5 sitting there. So Really cool deck. Looking forward to trying it out through a Pioneer League. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you would like to support my content, you can do so with direct donations. With any donation of $30 or more, just like this one, I can play any deck list of your choosing in any format that you'd like. You can also join my Patreon, which you can find in the description of the video down below. And you can also support my content for free whenever you use TCG Player and ManaTraders as services using the link that you will find in the description of the video. Thank you for watching. See you for round number one. Round number one, and we are met with a very interesting hand. Just like a super interactive hand. I think I like it though. I think I kind of like it. Maybe this is not what I should be doing with this deck, and I should just be kind of looking for hands that have Llanowar Elf. But this hand has some pretty good interaction here. We're playing against humans, so I guess kind of rewarded for our choice here. Den seems like a great land to play on turn one. Send the turn back. Now we're gonna be able to like have the split colors, which is very nice. Hopefully we dodge Thalia on turn two. Yeah, that's the one that I want to dodge exactly. That is precisely the one that I wanted to dodge. Okay, so now, okay, I mean that's something I can play. So I'm not gonna complain too much. Give me a nice little boost. So I'm not gonna be able to play Chariot next turn. If I find another 1-drop, I'm gonna be able to like kill Thalia and play another 1-drop, which would be nice. This seems fine though. If my opponent offers the trade for the recruitment officer, I'm just gonna take it. Just gonna save some life. And yeah. Really want to dodge the bid one though. Adeline. That card seems potentially problematic. I feel like if we had been on the play, we very easily win this game. But being on the draw is a pretty massive disadvantage versus the humans deck. Alright, opponent goes for the Brutal Cathar. Interesting. Guess they're just really scared of that. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to shock this now, which I'm not super in love with. Alternatively, I can just like shock the Thalia anyway. I definitely don't think that the answer is to play Reckless Stormseeker. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna shock the Brutal Cathar. Yeah, so I'm just gonna stomp there. And obviously I cannot pass the turn because otherwise the Brutal Cathar is gonna flip, and that's gonna be very, very bad for me. So let's see what my opponent's got here. That's the one that I kind of want to dodge there. Interesting, they offered the trade. Okay, so I'm just gonna block the 2-1. I'm gonna take 3, and I guess I'm just going to kill the Adeline. Obliterating Bolt. Yep, I mean, this is kind of where we're at, unfortunately. So we're gonna be taking potentially 5 here. And imagine how much different this deck would have looked if we had been on the play. Okay, Thalia's Lieutenant here probably closes the door. Alright, let's go to game number 2. I think Fry looks pretty good. I guess I kind of want all of my removal. It's a little bit awkward though, because I mean, as we just saw, like 2-mana removal is kind of brutal. I think we can cut the Hasserets here. I don't think we're gonna make it. Like, if Chandra were a little bit cheaper, I would be into it, but it seems like a little bit too far away. The Miglos are kind of medium, so let's cut those. I'm gonna cut 1 boat, and we're lowering the curve very nicely. I do like that. So the last cut can probably be Lovestruck Beast. I could also see a Crone War. I could see a Crone War being pretty decent. 4 mana seems like so much. So I don't think I want it on the draw, but I may want it on the play. Lovestruck Beast sounds great. I think I'm just going to cut Scavengerous. Just going to go with this. So reveal Gigantha. And now we get to be on the play. Yeah, this hand looks great on the play. So play Copperline Gorge. Opponent kept 7. And let's see if they don't play anything. Okay. So I can play a dude. Or I think I'm just going to hold up Shock here. I'm just going to hold up Bone Crusher Giant here. They're probably going to play Thalia. Oh, Aspirant? Oh, what a gift. What a gift. Love that. So now I can either play... now I play my land and I can either go Stormseeker, pass, or I can just go Bone Crusher. I think I want to play Stormseeker. Let's play Stormseeker and just swing for 3. Get in there for 3 and start racing back. Next turn we're going to be able to play... get a 1/1 from Lovestruck Beast and then some. Actually we're going to be able to... That's nice. Alright, so play Boseiju, play... I think I'm going to play Obliterating Bolt here, just because it's sorcery. And then we get to play Lovestruck Beast. I mean, the 1/1 from Lovestruck Beast. And then an Elf. And we're going to haste the Elf and serve. And next turn, like... I mean, different. You just see the difference between being on the play versus on the draw, right? Like, we were on the play, and we just were one step ahead every single turn of the game. And my opponent was never able to catch up. And even if they don't double spell here, like, the game just ends on the spot. Sure. So this means that they prevent one of that damage, but I'm gonna be swinging for a ton. So play Lovestruck Beast. This is for sources opponent control. Will damage to you or permanent you control. Okay, so it also counts for their stuff. Okay. So I think I'm just going to play Sokenzan. And we are just gonna hold up. We're just gonna hold up Fry. So this is gonna be a swing for 6. I could also just put Giganta in hand. I think I want to. Oh, this counters, but this can't be countered. That's hilarious. Is there a reason for me to hold? I think there is a reason for me to hold up Fry instead of putting Giganta in hand, so I'm just gonna chill. That reason being the Cathar, right? If they have Cathar, I can just kill it in response and not get my things exiled. Matter specifically for the human token. And next turn I'm going to be playing Giganta anyway, so... Wedding Announcement. Okay. So I don't think that does anything, so... My opponent's gonna be chum blocking here. So... Cast Bone Crusher. And I guess we drew another Stormseeker, so let's play that one. And this should be... very, very lethal. So swing with the dudes. Yep. Very, very lethal. Yeah, my opponent was sitting up for the long game there with the Wedding Announcement, and we're just like, nope, you're dead. Cool. Game number 3. Okay, so my opponent is kind of on a weirdo transformational sideboard where they have like all of these nonsense enchantments. So I think Miglos becomes a lot more interesting now that I see that they're actually trying to slow the game down. So what do we cut for that? Maybe another Sky Sovereign? Sky Sovereign looks really good, but 5 mana seems like so much, particularly on the draw. So I'm gonna leave in the 1, and I Seeker's Chariot just like stabilizes the board better than Sky Sovereign. Maybe the Miglos is just bad, but like my opponent has a lot of enchantment nonsense going on over there, so I feel like that's fairly easy to disrupt for me with the Miglos. If I care about it, right? And particularly what I would care about it is the thingy, the 4 mana that they played. This looks good actually. This looks really good. Turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Bone Crusher plus Beast. Okay, initiate. That is very, very shockable. Man, turn 1 Elf is kind of busted in this deck, huh? So now even if they play Thalia, I just don't care. Aspirant. So they put the token there, which makes a lot of sense. Gonna take 2, that's fine. Covalent Gorge is a nice draw. We're just gonna stomp right now. Don't even mess with it. And cast the Heart's Desire, get our 1/1, send the turn back. We have another stomp. We have Obliterating Bolt, so we can actually remove 2 creatures next turn, which is great. If they play, you know, some smaller creatures. 2 mana, another Aspirant. Okay. So the question now, I'm gonna take this. The question now is gonna be how they want to sequence things. Oh, they played it out. Okay, well there you go. So now they're gonna be able to protect the Luminarch Aspirant. The question now is, do we care about this more than we care about the Aspirant? And the answer is probably no. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to Obliterating Bolt here. My opponent is going to Dauntless Bodyguard in response, and then we're gonna shock it. Yep. So stomp that. There you go. And am I charm blocking here? Probably not. Let's get in there for 1. Next turn we can go, I guess, Lovestruck Beast, and then we can hold up Boseiju to blow that up, I guess. All right, so take 3. Interesting. So definitely play out Sokenzan, and I think we just play out the Lovestruck Beast just because it's bigger. And now we can hold up Boseiju to blow that up, or we can hold up Lightning Strike. We can also kill Immutable for what's worth. Opponent's down to 1 card in hand. We're gonna see if they attack. No attacks. And now I'm gonna Boseiju their thing in their second main phase. Cool. One card in hand for opponent. Alright, so here is a pathway. I think I just go double Bone Crusher here. Just drop 2 4/3s. And I guess I'm going to swing for 5 first. I think I do need to start ending the game, right? So here, if my opponent wants to double lock, I can just blow it up with Lightning Strike. Oh, they're going for it? Okay. Interesting. Well, I mean, that's good for me. They also can't protect this right here, I don't think. Unless they have one of the new cards. Maybe they're playing the new card, yeah. Brave the Elements. Yeah, I mean, this protects the Hopeful Initiate, but like it doesn't protect the Mutavault, so it's still like they threw away a Mutavault and they traded the Lightning. They basically like didn't chump block, so the Initiate survives, but it didn't really do anything. Wedding Announcement is a good draw. Wedding Announcement is definitely a good draw there for them. Okay. It's not a great draw. But I mean, this is kind of clocking me, so I'm going to attack here. And I guess we're going to like play Bone Crusher, put Giganta in hand. They just take 9. Okay, take that. So cast Bone Crusher, put Giganta in hand, and play my land and say go. I mean, we got stuff going on. That is for sure. Okay, that's a good one. Castle is definitely very good with the Wedding Announcement going on. And the Wedding Announcement is popping next turn. Lair of the Hydra. I can swing for 5 with the Lair. So opponent can make a dude, but if they do, they can't block with Mutavault. So if they want to trade, they actually have to throw away their Hopeful Initiate. I think I'd rather just spend this turn playing Giganta though, because that makes my next turn that much better. And my opponent already needs to block here. They can put 3 humans in front of the Bone Crusher, but that's a great exchange because next turn the Weird Announcement is flipping and those are going to be bigger. The problem is if I swing with the Lair, my opponent simply just chomps. No, actually it's not bad if I swing with the Lair, is it? Yeah, I think I actually want to swing with the Lair. So if I swing with Lair, my opponent can block it, but then they have no more tokens. And I mean, we're presenting a very lethal attack, so yep, I think I'd rather go for Lair. So let's go with that. X equals 5. Go to combat. And I'm definitely leaving the human token back to block because it's kind of just chump attacking. And, oh wow, really? Blocking with Mutavault instead of making a token. Oh, they can do both. I'm an idiot, right? They can actually just do both. Really? Okay, yeah, that was not a great block. All right, cool. We get the W. I'll take it, I guess. Here we are for round number 2. This hand looks fine. Again, like another very interactive hand. I think this is fine, but it obviously is going to depend on my opponent's draw, right? On my opponent's deck more than their draw, I would say. I am on the play though, so even if we are playing against a deck like humans like we were in the previous round, then this is just gonna be much better for us. This is going to be like we're gonna be on the play, so we're gonna be able to deploy our removal spells in a much more timely manner. Opponent keeps 7. We play Stomping Ground tapped and send it back. And I'm probably not gonna play Mutavault on 2. Just gonna play the Copperline Gorge. The reason being, I'm just not gonna be activating Mutavault anytime soon because my mana is kind of just stuck somewhere else. Tapped Blood Crypt, pass. Okay, Copperline Gorge, your go. And if we're playing against Black-Red here, if they do nothing, I'm probably just gonna shock their face because I'm probably gonna Bone Crusher next turn regardless. So, oh, nice, target. Stomp. Great. So now we're just gonna go Mutavault, play Bone Crusher, and pass it. Just send it back. So that at least they take a shock to the face. Play Cliffs and Bone Crusher. All right. So we then play Bone Crusher here. I think I want to just swing for 6, just Obliterating Bolt this and get in there for 6. So this one is newly controlled, so I'm gonna tap that one for mana. And then Bolt the Bone Crusher. Definitely would have been much worse for me if my opponent had the other one, the 3-drop card, the black one. Can't remember the name of the card, but you know which one I'm talking about. Get in there for 6. Next turn, I'm going to be able to do some stuff on some things. Huh. Lair is interesting. So what I can do is I can just send both Mutavaults and Bone Crusher. How do I get blown out if I do that? Because it is obviously my opponent wanting me to do that, right? So I'm trying to figure out how can I get punished. They could have pushes, I guess. So if they push both of my mutables, that's bad for me. On the other hand, if they use the pushes on mutables, that means they don't use the pushes on like layers and stuff. Also, it uses their cards, which seems valuable to me. I think I'm just gonna jam anyway. I think I'm just going to jam with both. I guess all three. Here's the other mutavault. And swing with all. Particularly because the mutavaults are gonna be dead because of the hive starting next turn. So next turn, if my opponent actually just passes the turn back, hive just doesn't means that the mutables can't get through. So they power word kill Bone Crusher and they stomp one of the mutavaults. They take 2 down to 10. And I think here we're just gonna play out Lair and say go. Second Bone Crusher is pretty good for them. I guess one of my best draws would be another one of their removal spell, like be Lightning Strike or another, even another Bone Crusher would be pretty decent. Croxa, sure. Have my land. Have my land. You have earned it. Okay, Trespasser is really annoying because the word, like there's just more. This is the one that I was talking about earlier, of course. Man, have we drawn a land every single turn so far? That's pretty brutal. So one thing I can do is I can shock face, get Gigantha. Opponent is down to 1 card in hand. The problem is like it would be a disaster if this were to flip, right? If this flips, we're in pretty bad shape. So I'm kind of interested in putting Gigantha in hand and just shocking face so that this doesn't flip. I can also block. I can attack and they block. That's kind of a disaster though, because I have to discard a card. There's just all sorts of messy. Next turn I can get to swing with Lair. I'm just gonna put a 4/3. I feel like I need to be on the board. So let's just stomp face and just play Bone Crusher. And we're gonna need to find a spell next turn, otherwise this thing is gonna flip, and that's going to be really bad for us. But next turn we can technically attack with this Lair for 4. We'd love to find, would really love to find Sky Sovereign. If we find Sky Sovereign, we probably win the game on the spot. Just kill the Trespasser and then like swing in the air. Here, if opponent offers a trade, I take it. Looks like they don't. Alright, so I guess we just make a repeat of last turn. So my opponent needs to trade, I think. So there goes that. And now we just do the same thing that we did last turn. So stomp face and then cast Bone Crusher. And I guess I'm gonna play this red source and say go. Maybe I should have played the crack. Yeah, we have a Scavenging Ooze, so I should have played the pathway on green, I think. They can't get Croxa back just yet. I guess Scavenging Ooze would be my best draw. Yeah, Skoos would be my best draw. Wow, alright, so my opponent had the best possible thing here. We had Power Word Kill to kill my Bone Crusher and to get back Croxa. It's literally the best possible case. So it's getting away from us. Certainly slipping away. So far, this lair is 4/4, which is obviously not good enough to brawl with Croxa. Opponent sucked 6, so we're not going to be able to... Okay. Alright. I mean, Chariot does something at least. We're going to be at a virtual 4, and then we're going to have some number of blockers because of the Mutavault. So we chomp the Croxa, we double block the Trespasser. Oh, my opponent can actually force lethal. No, but then they die on the crackback. Yeah, they can't do that because I just block Chariot on Trespasser, block Chariot on Trespasser, chomp. Oh no, that's it. Yeah, because the ping actually kills me. So actually I can't do that. I have to triple chomp with Mutavault, Cat Token, and Cat Token. So my opponent should just like swing with everything because of the Hive. Or not. Alright. So I die to a removal spell here. I die to a removal spell, but I don't think I can beat a removal spell. So we're just going to accept our fate. They stomp face? Okay, it's not lethal though. Why wouldn't they shock Oh, they had 2 cards? How did they have 2 cards? Alright, well, never mind. Never mind, they actually had 2 cards. I thought they had 1 card in hand only. I don't know why. Anyway, my mistake. Alright, so let's get on to game number 2. This card seems very good. I think I do like the roasts. Probably better than the lightning strikes. Chandra and Embercleave are interesting. Chandra and Embercleave are interesting. And Hazoret seems fantastic. I think I'm gonna cut at least a couple of elves. Scavengers looks great. I have to expect the roast are because I expect Shieldred, of course. Bone Crusher seems good. Reckless seems good. Lovestruck Beast is just big. Maybe Miglos. Miglos looks like the threat of activation in Miglos seems pretty good. Sky Sovereign seems like it tags a fair amount of this stuff. Cyberlink here is actually quite interesting. I could just cut another Elvish Mystic and just have bigger cards. Because I basically want to see exactly 1 elf and nothing else. Hey, look at that, it's exactly 1 elf. Perfect. This hand seems very strong. Like, if they have the Fatal Push, then we kind of play on. But if they don't have the Fatal Push and we get to, like, turn 2 Stormseeker and we get to get off to the races from turn number 2, that's going to be quite good. I really doubt that they have Thoughtseizes, but they may have Thoughtseizes, I don't know. I imagine this is just a push. Yeah, okay. So now we really need to find the land. We have 24, which is a pretty healthy amount. It's not a land, but it's okay. I don't have a guaranteed land drop here, so unless my opponent plays something that I can shock, I'm probably not going to cast this Bone Crusher. Oh, they do have Thoughtseize. Interesting. Really hoping to find a land, so I can play the Stormseeker. Opponent does end up taking the Bone Crusher, and we find a roast, which obviously it's not great, so we're just going to send a turn back. Not much to do here. Pretty unfortunate. We are playing 24 lands, so opponent plays a tap land and passes, and we find we find one of our 3 TV tap lands. Brutal. Brutal. Just absolute punishment. Now if this is Shieldred, we're just gonna be time walked here because we have to get rid of this. So this is just effectively a time walk. Roast that, so we move on with our game. Man, like, our mana has been just awkward every step of the way. Pretty rough. If they have second Shielder, we're gonna be in a lot of trouble. So hopefully they don't, but they obviously do. Yeah. Alright, I guess we're gonna play this Miglos guy, and we're going to hope that it does anything. So it has evasion, and I guess it can actually trade with the Shieldred here. But yeah, our game was just too clunky. We're really far behind. Unless we find roast number 2, I don't think we're gonna be able to raise this Shieldred. Particularly because now Castle Lotwain actually kind of gains my opponent's life because of the Shieldred. That interaction is kind of messed up, honestly. Opponent stumps face, and then I imagine they're just gonna play the Bone Crusher. Okay, I'm just gonna send it back. Roast! Alright, we get to play on, baby. Roast the Shieldred. That's cool, that's very cool. So now, I mean, we can offer, I think I do like offering the trade here. So if I swing with both, yeah, I think I swing with both. We take, because otherwise, like, we take 4, we go down to 8. Like, we're still, because of the Stormseekers, we're still kind of racing nicely. We're gonna trade the Miglos here. Oh wow, really? Interesting block. I would have assumed that they would have blocked here, unless they have push. But still, it would have been better to block the Miglos. I mean, they know I have more Stormseekers, and they don't know if I have another one of these. I don't know if I agree with that block. Okay, main phase, draw. I mean, this is pretty okay so far. So we want to draw another land so that we can double spell. Chariot is interesting. Yep. So we're gonna serve, and we're gonna play a Chariot for ya. Opponent doesn't block. Play Chariot. Your go. Make some kitty cats. We're still at 11. It's pretty healthy. And we are very, very much the aggressors. Liliana. Sure. So if they minus, I'm just going to, yeah. So we just crew, and we're just gonna sack one of the cats. Okay, opponent down 1 card in hand, down to a single card, and no attacks. Mutavolt. So we just double spell here, right? This is a very clear double spell. The thing is, what do I do with my chariot? I think I'm going to actually crew with both of the Stormseekers, and then I'm gonna give both targets to the cat token, oddly enough. And now we just serve everything at them. Opponent could have pushed for the cat, but I mean, that's fine. They're just pushing a cat. We're still swinging for 8. Okay, so opponent does have the push for the cat, which is fine. And we're just going to go face anyway. Attack with both, go face. We don't get a dude, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. And now, if they go to 2, like, that's kind of it, right? Like, I have a Den, I have a Mutavolt. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the deck, right? Like, we just have so much power amongst our lands. So my opponent going down to 2 is kind of a death sentence there. I don't think they have any draws. Liliana's doing absolutely nothing. And this was a game where we missed land drops for, what, like 2 or 3 turns? Yeah, Bankbuster Boy is not going to cut it. I'm honestly surprised that they have Bankbuster in their deck. Like, we're very much an aggro deck, so maybe they think I'm playing something else. I don't know. I don't think I want Embercleave in the face of all of that removal. I could see Chandra because 3 is the ideal number, but I don't think that this is really a Chandra matchup. I think I kind of want to get under my opponent. This seems fine. Alright, what do we got here? I mean, I think we keep this. I also don't think that I'm particularly excited about mulliganing versus this deck anyway, but okay. We do fight land, everything's great. Everything's great, we're great, everybody's happy. So we have answers to 2 Shieldreds. Let's see if my opponent still has that. If they still have the, what's his name, right? If they still have the Thoughtseizes. Akron War is an interesting one. Definitely gonna stomp here. There's an argument for saving the stomp for like the Goblin token from Mirror Break, from Fable, if they have Fable here. There you go. Okay, so now what? Gorge is not bad. Now we can, I mean, I'm definitely not killing this Goblin Shaman. That's not a thing. So the difference is, do I want a Reckless Stormseeker or do I want a Bone Crusher? I think I want a Bone Crusher because I'm not going to be attacking. I think I'd rather just save the, like, force my opponent to use a removal spell on this. And then next turn we can drop Chariot. So we can hopefully play, ooh, okay. I guess they're gonna use the Treasure to enable Revolt or something. So I'm blocking here. Yeah, this seems kind of fine to me. I wonder why they didn't just like use a blood token there. All right, they got Shieldred. So. What we can do here is we can play a Crone War and steal the Shieldred. I think I'm into that. So we steal Shieldred, we have it down the block. And this also allows me to use my mana pretty effectively. Now next turn we can Esika's Chariot, which is pretty nice. Now we give back the favor here. So they take 2. And I mean, if they want to answer their own Shieldred, I'm okay with that. Interesting. Alright. Block. Alright. Pushing my own Shieldred. I'm okay with this. Very much okay with this. So now, oh, they have another one? Okay, so now I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to roast this. Land is great though, because now I get to, so creatures my opponent controls are going to need to attack. So now I can roast Shieldred, and I'm going to play Megalos here. Red, green, red. Just because it's a 4/4. So now my opponent's creatures have to attack, so I can block the Shaman. And then I can just take some things off of this one to oil counters to blow this up. Akron War was just incredible. Akron War, like, killed the Shieldred, made my opponent discard a Fatal Push, and is about to make the Goblin Shaman chomp attack into the Megalos if my opponent doesn't have yet another removal spell. Like, this card is just outrageously strong here. Alright, they make a dude. I am definitely gonna block. And sure, here my opponent can they can shock me here. You know, they can shock the Miglos, but if they have Bone Crusher, they get to Bone Crusher the Miglos, which is sucks, but it is what it is. So Reflection's gonna die here, and I do have to watch out for Hive. Best draw would probably be what, Scavenging Ooze? Okay, so this kills itself. I think we just go Chariot. We just go Chariot into Llanowar Elf. We get some tokens, and we get a random elf. Somehow we have not been able to find any of our utility lands, but it's fine. We're at 8, opponent at 16. Okay, discarding Blood Crypt. That means that they can't attack with Hive, which is good. Oh, they actually can. They have to sack the Treasure, though. This game is actually very close. This game is actually super, super close. Giganta may become super relevant. Alright, opponent finally decides that going with Hive is the way to go. So if they swing here, this is very interesting because we have multiple ways to go about this. I think that what I'm gonna do is, because now they don't have removal, right? So I can't really get blown out. So if I suit up the Esika's Chariot with both cat tokens, I get to block with Elf and Chariot, meaning that I don't lose any of my tokens, meaning that next turn I can get one for free, which is good. And then I'm take 4 down to 4. I think 4 is a healthy enough life total that I'd rather lose an elf instead of a cat token, because the difference between 1 and 2 power is so massive here. So we're just going to do this, I think. And my opponent cannot have land and Fatal Push because they only have one card left. So we're gonna go to 4, and we're gonna draw. Oh, interesting. They did not kill my elf. Okay, now we're gonna draw Scavenging Ooze and win the game very easily. Damn it. So I can go down to 2 if I wanted to. Seems a little bit too risky. So probably not gonna do that. We can go Stomping Ground tapped, play Stormseeker. And I think here I crew with both of these, leaving the cat token back. And now, beginning of combat, I buff the Chariot for an extra point of damage. And I think I swing. I think the cat token needs to get in there. We have 2 blockers here. And my opponent does have a lethal threat. Again, I don't think I'm supposed to roast the Bone Crusher, so I don't lose to another Bone Crusher off the top. And we're representing lethal for next turn, so my opponent can't attack. Let's see what they drew. Trespasser. Okay. All right. No attacks. All right. Mutavault. So if I kill the Trespasser, discard Mutavault, we swing, and we attack for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Opponent goes down to 1, so they actually need to trade. I don't think I can afford to roast here, but I definitely want to roast the Trespasser. And I'm going to have it do it back to block. Yeah, this seems fine. I think I actually don't attack with the Llanowar Elf. Oh, actually, I was supposed to put Giganta to hand and then hold back the Mutavault. Oh no, actually this is better because this means that I don't die to Kroxa off the top. So this is actually better. So now we go crew Chariot, and opponent does not have to chomp here, so I'm just going to attack with only these cards. So if their last card is Fatal Push, I guess we're in trouble. Okay, so they took the trade. So at this point, I think we are in the clear? Question mark? I guess they can draw specifically Brotherhood's End, but Sheoldred doesn't cut it. Kroxa doesn't cut it. I think specifically Brotherhood's End gives us another turn. So if they draw, gives them another turn. So if they find exactly Brotherhood's End into another Sheoldred, then we're gonna be in trouble. This game has been crazy. Let's see what they found. Extinction Event? Okay, we have a very nice split. I mean, they know about the Giganta, so they know they're dead here. Yep. So play Giganta, give it haste, swing for lethal. Hell yeah. That was a match, man. That was a crazy match. Wow. Crazy stuff. We got there. See you next round. Round number 3. Another interactive hand. I think I keep this. I guess it's not super interactive, but it's the first time that I'm seeing Sky Sovereign, so I'm kind of excited about it. Godless Shrine into Thoughtseize. Alright. So we do get to play Lovestruck Beast on 1. And then we get to hold up Shock on 2, unless my opponent Thoughtseizes that. I'm not familiar enough with the format to know what Godless Shrine means. It could be Greasefang, it could be a variety of different things, I think. They take the Lovestruck Beast. Interesting. Just a random 5/5/2 strong. Alright, so we drew Stormseeker, redundant copy, so doesn't really do anything. Play the tap land, and pass the turn back. Not much to do. Blue Midmarsh. Okay, so now it's looking a lot more like Greasefang. Unless my opponent is playing some sort of Abzan midrange nonsense deck. Yep. It's looking very, very much like Greasefang. Can I draw a Scavenging Ooze? Okay. Let's play the Gorge. It shows my opponent a card from my hand, but it's fine. So, I mean, as of right now, Greasefang doesn't really do anything. Hopefully we keep it that way. Mana Confluence. Not many Mana Confluence decks in this format, surprisingly. Raffine's Informant. Okay. Probably gonna just crush those bones. Discarding Chariot. Alright. So we really want to dodge that Greasefang card. Would be awesome. So we take a nice little shock here. That clears the way for... Lair is not a great draw there. They get to swing for 3, which is nice. This card has been an all-star. This entire league, this card has been an all-star. Big fan. If we find an untapped land, we're gonna get to play Chariot. But I mean, it kind of depends on whether my opponent finds a Greasefang or not. Witherbloom Command. They did win a Greasefang there and a Parhelion. Okay, potentially not great. So they just drained me for 2 and they, I guess, looked at the top cards. They take the Chariot. Let's see what we draw. Okay. I mean, I think I'm just playing Lair, playing Bone Crusher, and just swinging for 6. So 7, sorry. Keep forgetting it's +1/+0. Man, so much value. 7 down to 5. If they have the Greasefang here, I'm gonna be in trouble. But if they had it, they would have played it last turn. If they had cracked Vessel instead of playing the Witherbloom Command, they would have the Greasefang in hand right now. I honestly have no idea why they would with Witherbloom there. I don't understand what was the thought process. Now they're just dead on board. Yeah. Wow. I mean, we just got there. Crazy. All right. So I think we do like the fries. This just clears Greasefang, which is very nice. And I think that's kind of it. Get the roast out of here. Instant speed better than sorcery speed. Same is true for Obliterating Ball. So that's just like a clean swap. Get the instant speed answers. Get the sorcery speed answers out. Scavenging Ooze seems great. I kind of want more copies in the sideboard. And Embercleave actually does sound quite interesting to me. I think I'm gonna be playing. I think I'm gonna bringing these bad boys in, which means that no Giganta, but that's fine. Let's cut Hazoret. And let's cut a Sky Sovereign. Probably Sky Sovereign is better than the other Hazoret. I'm not too in love with Hazoret on the draw here. But yeah, I kind of think that Embercleave is pretty fire, huh? Just as a way to race. Oh, this hand. Oh, this hand. Am I keeping this hand? I mean, I kind of want to. I kind of really want to. No green source is so brutal, though. This hand has a little bit of everything that I want, though. A way to end the game quickly, a way to interact at instant speed with Greasefang. Even some acceleration if I do find a green source off the top. Sure, I'll keep it. I am ready to be hurt. I am ready to be hurt by the top of the deck. Turn 1 Temple Garden. Okay. Vessel. Interesting. Okay, so slow hand for my opponent, and I top deck like a champion, the best possible land. Don't mind me. Just out here being a hero. just out here being a hero. The only awkward thing here is that I'm gonna have to just kind of pass the turn back. I'm gonna swing with the elf, and I'm just gonna pass the turn back. So they're gonna crack Vessel. Hopefully they don't find anything. They kind of didn't. Cool. They did find a land drop. Also good to know about the pushes. Although I did imagine that they were gonna have some amount of pushes post board. So even if they play Greasefang here, it just doesn't really do anything. Another Vessel. Interesting. So they do play the Informant. That means they're not gonna have Vessel mana now. Discarding Sky Sovereign. So we're definitely gonna stomp the Informant. And we're going to send it back. So our best draw is once again Scavenge News. Ha! Man, can I afford to do that? Can I just tap out this turn? Can I just tap out? What happens if I tap out? They get back Sky Sovereign, which doesn't kill this for what's worth. Next turn, I kill Greasefang, and we kind of move on. Yeah, okay. I'm going to take this turn off, because I don't think I can really, you know, win the game if I don't pressure them. Like, the more time that goes by where I just don't put anything on the board, the worse that it gets for me. So I think this is going to be the turn that I take the turn that I take off to do something, and then I just never tap out again for the rest of the game, and I just beat them down with this 4/4 ideally. So yeah, I mean, show me the Greasefang right now, and they probably win, I would imagine, because they're gonna get the Sky Sovereign. It's gonna come down. It's gonna attack. Okay, so they do have it. Yeah. Okay. Brutal. So they're gonna kill the Miglos, I imagine. It's gonna swing for 6. And then Sky Sovereign goes back to hand. Then we get to Lightning Strike their dude. Yeah, this is really rough. We only need to dodge that one turn, but I mean the good thing now is if we do find a land, we actually just get to Sky Sovereign the Greasefang, which is so much better than just Lightning Striking, because it just puts the boat in play. So Miglos down, Sky Sovereign back to opponent's hand. Land? Woof! Alright. So play Sky Sovereign, kill your Greasefang, hope you don't have another one. Hoping you don't have another one, because if they do, it's gonna be rough. Actually, it's not gonna be rough. They don't have anything in the graveyard, so it's fine. So it's not that bad. And now whatever they play just gets domed by the Sky Sovereign. So we're kind of in okay shape here, actually. Grizzly Salvage. They did find, oof, they found Parhelion and Greasefang in the same one. Brutal. Ugh, please don't have the untapped land. Oh, they did have it. Okay. Alright, so now they have Parhelion. Obviously, that's a lot worse for us. Just slightly worse. Just slightly worse. I think my plays were fine. I don't think that I should have played this game any differently than I did. I think that the turns that I chose to tap out were the correct turns to do so. My opponent's hand just lined up perfectly against... Right, if they needed to find either the land or they had to have the Can't Stay Away and they had one of those, etc. Alright, game number 3. This looks okay. So let's try it again. What do we got here? Some shocks, some Ember Cleaves. So many shocks. I think I'm gonna mulligan this one. This one is a little bit too clunky. This one's fast. I like fast hands. And I guess I'm gonna bottom the Fry. So let's do that. We're gonna go turn 1 Lovestruck Beast. Turn 2 nothing, I guess. It's not great. But turn 3 we're gonna get to play Reckless Stormseeker and we're gonna get to start beating down. Opponent moves to 5. Hopefully it's not a great 5. I can beat an okay 5. Probably beat a good 5. Cannot beat a great 5. Mana Confluence is good. That means that my opponent's gonna take a healthy amount of damage. Definitely helps my strategy of getting them dead. Ooh, they left me with the Lightning Strike. Interesting. Stomping Ground, tapped. Swing for 1. There's nothing I'm shocking here, so... Black-green. They're gonna play the dude. Say the Wayfinder. Love that card. Oh, really? Okay, so they did hit the land drop, and they milled my thing. So I think I do play the Lovestruck Beast here, because I really need to get a clock going. And my opponent's got a Sickest Chariot, which is pretty bad if they have exactly Greasefang in this turn, because we know they have the land. They just got it back with the Witherbloom, but Hopefully we dodge Greasefang specifically this turn. And starting next turn, we should be in okay shape. Informant. I can beat that one. Can certainly beat that one. Cool. And now it's nice because we're going to have 2 layers of interaction. We have... Interesting. Miglos is a very interesting one, actually. So now we get to beat down here. We get to hold up Lightning Strike. And next turn, we're going to get to... Like, my opponent cannot Thoughtseize my Boseiju, which is good. So, if they... Vessel. Vessel's fine. So they have 2 cards left in hand. We have 2 layers of interaction, so I'm going to... probably... Yeah, I think I have to play this out, and I have to play this guy. And then swing for 5. And this is representing lethal next turn. And I still have the shock. But now I can also just like destroy an artifact or enchantment, so I actually have both things, which is pretty cool. They salvage. Salvage in response, revealing Can't Stay Away, double trophy, and they do have the Greasefang. Okay, well, here's 5 to the face. I mean, I think we're in good shape here. So I guess the only thing would be if my opponent has exactly Thoughtseize. Because if they have Thoughtseize, they Thoughtseize the Lightning Strike. They Thoughtseize Lightning Strike, then they swing. Then they get back Esika's Chariot, and Esika's Chariot actually stabilizes the board. Allows them to chump block, not take lethal. They played a land in shock though, so that means they're gonna be doing something here. So they drain me and they kill my dude. Okay. That's gonna slow down my thing pretty significantly. It's gonna slow down my clock, because now I cannot serve with this anymore. Alright, so they play Greasefang. Not gonna let them go to beginning of combat, we're just gonna kill that. We know they have Can't Stay Away, so my best draw is Scavenging Ooze once again. If I draw a 1-1, I win. If I draw Scavenging Ooze, I win. That's a 1-1. Boom. Now I get to attack with Lovestruck Beast, and I get to swing for 9. Awesome. Sweet, sweet, sweet. 3-0, baby. Clearly I am a Pioneer Master. Clear I'm the greatest one to ever do it. See you next round. 4th round, 3-0. Loving it, loving it. Are we keeping this? Sure, let's keep this in. So we have some interaction, we have some like actual ramp and stuff. So this is more of an experimental hand, I would say. This may backfire. I guess I'm on the play, so maybe I shouldn't have kept this. If I had been on the draw, I feel like this would be just a fine keep. But on the play, it's a little bit sketchier. But it moves to 6. Let's just draw a 3-drop on 2, shall we? Uh-oh. We playing the mirror? I think I'm gonna swing here. And I'm holding up Lightning Strike here as opposed to killing the Llanowar Elf. I feel like it's a mistake that people sometimes make, where they just like, oh yeah, kill the Mana Dork here. It's just like, this game is not gonna be about the Mana Dorks. This game is gonna be about the bigger creatures. Yeah, I mean, this is great for me. My opponent doing that is just absolutely fantastic for me. Yeah, I'm just going to pass the turn back here. Play Mutavault and say go. So now my opponent can't really attack with these creatures. And if they play a big creature, obviously that's bad for me, but at least I have some agency, right? I get to interact with their stuff. Yeah, Chariot is obviously the worst possible case scenario. Chariot is just straight up the worst possible case scenario. It's probably like the only way that I lose the game on the spot. I feel like we would be playing otherwise, but like the fact that they have the Chariot means that I probably am not going to be able to come back from this. I'm killing the tokens so my opponent cannot get value from this, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. Like obviously that was just like a heinous exchange, like absolutely awful exchange for me. Like I threw away 2 of my premium removal spells to answer 1/3 of my opponent's Chariot. The problem is like, if I don't, then the Chariot makes a token and I can never catch back up, right? So the only way that I can come back into this game now is Jesus. Okay, so the only way that I can come back into this game now is, I guess, specifically my own Chariot or Sky Sovereign. If I draw Sky Sovereign, I'm probably in okay shape. And I'm not going to block the Elf because right now, Sky Sovereign is only a good draw because the Scavenging Ooze cannot eat anything else. If Scavengers actually does have food, then I'm in terrible shape. So I can swing with Den. I can also block with Den. I can also play Stormseeker and use Giganta and put Giganta to hand. I think I'm gonna do that. So I want more resources to play Scavengers fights, but I think I'm just gonna go Stormseeker and just put Giganta in hand and just call it. Am I blocking here? I am not. I guess I am blocking the elves. So I'm just not gonna attack here. My opponent is the one that's racing me, and I don't want to take 2 damage for no reason. My opponent could have like a lightning strike or like whatever, and just clear the Stormseeker and swing anyway. But I don't want to allow my opponent to have a free attack. So now we're gonna be able to drop a Giganta next turn, which is nice because actually gets in the way of the Chariot. And my opponent does not have Giganta, so we do actually see the upside of playing with Giganta in the deck, which is nice. Stomping Ground tapped. Okay, no attack is great for me, and that's an incredible draw. But I kind of don't want to allow my opponents to grow their Scavengers, so I think I'm just going to play out the Giganta here and just do nothing. Gonna play this stab. Like, the only way that things get out of hand here is if my opponent's Scavengers gets out of hand, and I really don't want that. So I think I'm just going to chill. I think we just don't attack and pass it back. So that was their draw step, because otherwise they would have played this last turn. And now I'm kind of looking for perfect. Yeah, so now we clear the way, and now we are free to attack. Yeah, so this was like, in any removal spell would have been one of our best draws here, but like, that one is the best one of the bunch. But yeah, this should be, I'm assuming this should be game. Play Chariot, make some dudes, crew, and now we just swing with both of these. If opponent wants to trade Chariot, that's fine. If they want to trade Giganta, that's also fine. Now I'm really far ahead, I think. So the Slasher is going to flip back, which is important. My opponent can put both Chariot and Mutavolt in front of the Giganta. At that point, I'm going to have to choose what do I want to kill. I think I'm killing the Chariot, even though my opponent could have a second one, but like I also have mine, so it's fine. And I am ahead in Chariots. And now next turn we're going to be attacking with Mutavolt, with Den, and my opponent's not going to have particularly great blocks. Right, they drew something. Does that do anything? Don't think so. Nah, I don't think that does anything. I mean, it prevents my own from flipping. That's all it really does. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 to activate here, and we can activate one of the Mutavolt. So I'm gonna play a Mutavolt, float the newly controlled one, and activate it. And I guess I'm going to activate this one too, and we're going to Chariot. Yeah, because I definitely want to Chariot one of the 2/3s, one of the 2/2s, so I can actually attack through. So I can actually attack through the Stormseeker. And now we're going to put a token there. And again, like I'm interested in trading resources because I'm pretty far ahead. The only way that I trade with this is if they throw a bunch of stuff. So I'm just gonna attack with these ones too. The tokens I think are just fine to attack with. Copy that. Maybe I should have even attacked with the Elvish Mystic, honestly. But now we're going crazy wide. And I don't know if my opponent's going to be able to keep up with this. Yeah, so my opponent blocking one of the 2/2s in here means that they're not trading with my Chariot, which means I just keep doing the same thing next turn. It does mean that my opponent's Stormseeker is going to flip. So there is that to keep in mind. If we're doing this, then I'm just trading with the Stormseeker and I'm not worried about anything really. It's funny how this entire game revolved around not attacking and not trading into the Scavengers and just being patient about it and just waiting there until I finally find a roast to clear the way. As soon as the Scavengers left the battlefield, I was super far ahead, so I feel like I navigated this game pretty well. Alright, opponent lining up some blocks there. But here we still have a decent amount of blockers and we have way more than lethal on board. Chariot still on board. Nice. Alright, so what do we want here? We definitely want the roasts. We definitely want the Akron War. Once again, like, shout out to Giganta. It just came down and it just kind of clear the board, you know? Like, my opponent could not do anything because it was just like a silly, stupid, big, dumb idiot. It just came down just like thud. I'm here. So want these cards, don't want the Hazoret. Actually, do I not want the Hazoret? I guess on the draw I don't want it, and then on the play I may want it. Miglos seems good as a way to destroy opposing Aggro Wars. I imagine this is the card that this matchup is going to revolve around. So we have a bunch of removal, which is nice. We have 8 removal spells, which is pretty cool. I assume Sky Sovereign is fantastic this matchup, so don't want to cut that. Man, I honestly don't know what to cut. All of our cards seem great in the matchup. Scavenging Ooze seems like it can solo a game, as we just saw in the previous one. Chariot seems fantastic. Stormseeker seems fantastic. Bone Crusher seems amazing. Lovestruck Beast, just a 5/5 that can block, seems great. Man, I really don't know what to cut. There's no way I'm supposed to cut Elves, right? Not in this matchup. Maybe I just have too much removal. Maybe I don't want that much removal. Let's cut, I guess let's cut the Obliterating Bolts. Oh, it's 61, my bad. Okay, yeah, obviously that was a mistake. I was supposed to cut something else, but... Okay, mistakes were made, don't worry about it. Alright. Oh, this hand is very interesting. Okay, let's keep it. So we have a healthy amount of interaction here. Okay, no ramp is good for us. Let's get Stomping Ground into play first. This is bad if I top deck like another one of the, you know, the creature lands, but it's fine. Mutavault on turn 2. Okay, very interesting. Well, here's a lair. Pass the turn. I'm not gonna expose this Scavenging Ooze into a potential removal spell, right? Oh, they kept a 1-lander. Yikes. Oh, never mind. Sure, Lovestruck Beast. I think I'm Lightning Striking the token. Actually, no. Yeah, let's actually Lightning Strike the token. It forces my, like, hopefully it's gonna make my opponent's mana a little bit more awkward here. Now we're gonna play Miglos, but I feel like I need to slow down my opponent's attacks. Maybe I'm supposed to play this game to go to the longer game, and I'm supposed to just ignore the 1/1 and just assume that this matchup is gonna be all about Aggro Wars and stuff. And in that case, I'm supposed to save the Miglos until the end, and I'm not supposed to use a removal spell and a random token. Yep, that is exactly what I was thinking about. Bone Crusher. I think I'm just going to chomp with Soken Sun tokens this turn. I think that's the line. So I can blank Aggro War. Obviously, if they attack, like if they play a 1/1 or something, I'm just gonna shock it. But maybe I should have played the pathway. I was thinking I want more green sources for schools, but here we're kind of playing around the Aggro War fairly well, I think. We're minimizing its effect pretty significantly. My opponent can go ahead like dump a bunch of counters from this thing, which would make sense to me. Go to combat. Opponent sends. Here's a stupid Soken Sun. Sure. I mean, these things are champ attacking anyway, right? So this seems like a great block here. This is kind of what I was gonna do anyway, so it's fine. Chariot is bad for us. Oh wow, that's brutal. Oof. So, man, Chariot is absolutely devastating here because Chariot allows my opponent to crew it with this trigger on the stack so that this deals damage to itself. Oh, that's devastating. So let's stomp one of the tokens, I guess. Oh man, that's so brutal. That's really tough. That's really, really tough. That's kind of a dope interaction, actually. Yep. So they crew. It gets +2/+2. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't do anything. I don't understand this part. They're just sinking their mana for no reason. Okay, sure. Not super clear on what that was supposed to achieve, but here we are. Okay, so now my opponent attacks. I have to kill the cat token so they don't get another free dude. So we're gonna take 6. We go down to 12. And I do have Scavenging Ooze, but kind of nothing to do with it. So we need some more stuff to die a little bit. So let's do that. And now we're gonna play Giganta. I put Giganta to hand, I mean, not play it, obviously. And now we're gonna... I mean, hopefully there's gonna be like a lot of things dying, but it's funny how many things have died, but everything has been a token or like just a single creature. Bunch of random things went to the graveyard. They have been like lands or just tokens. We're kind of behind here. That Aggro War was really, really good. Let's see what my opponent's got. 3 mana, Stormseeker. Okay. Abrade my dude. So we're gonna take 7 here. Ugh. 7 down to 5. And then we're gonna play Giganta, I guess. Giganta hopefully stabilizes. Okay, my opponent's low on cards. So here's hoping that this Giganta actually stabilizes this board state a little bit. I am not gonna play out the Scavenging Ooze because I think that some trades are gonna happen right now. So I'd rather hold on to like Llanowar Elves / Lair of the Hydra to block / chump. Something like a Aggro War wins the game on the spot. So second Chariot is pretty damn great here. Oof, yeah. Second Chariot's really good. So now they're gonna get to swing for a bunch. They can, I guess they can offer the trade if they want. We'll see what they do. Oh, this is just lethal. Oh, no. These are summoning. Yeah, this is not lethal just yet. This isn't quite lethal. We're going to 1 here. Okay. So we're going to block there, block there. These are kind of my forced blocks. There's kind of an argument for blocking the token with the Giganta as opposed to the Chariot because the token actually helps my opponent go wider. So we're going to play Scavenging Ooze. And we can again only eat 2 things. 3 things. Never mind. We can actually eat 3 whole things. And they have Chariot number 3. Seems strong. Okay. 1 more game. I guess I want Embercleave. Maybe Giganta is just too good. Maybe Giganta is just too great. Chandra Awakened Inferno is interesting. These games seem like they're going pretty long. I'm just gonna cut an elf. Game 3 this time on the play. No green mana. Brutal. Ship it. Because we're keeping this one. I mean, if we do get to the mid game, I'm assuming this Sky Sovereign is gonna do some serious work. So I think I keep this hand and I'm gonna bottom the Chariot. No, I'm gonna bottom the Bone Crusher because I can go. So we keep this bottom Bone Crusher. So I can go turn 1 tap land, turn 2 shock, turn 3 just cast the Bone Crusher. Okay, it's not bad. They just shock right now. They could technically have Scavenging Ooze, but if they don't play anything into this Bone Crusher, I'm just going to let it go. Although I guess my opponent can't really attack, huh? Because I can just block with the Mutavault. Llanowar Elves. Okay, so they're not gonna attack, and now I just get to stomp the elf instead, which is fine. Untap. Sure. Let's play Bone Crusher. Pass the turn back. So now with the land, opponent gets to deploy the Lovestruck Beast, which is good. It means I can't attack, but then I get to play Chariot. Interesting. Let's play the red source here. Let's play Chariot. Oh, let's pass it back. So if opponent serves, I just take it. I think I don't really do anything. Because I just take 5, and then I untap. I Sky Sovereign the human token, and then I swing for a bunch. There's also the hilarious thing that if I want to pay 1 mana for Boseiju, I can just activate Chariot. And that actually allows me to play Boseiju for a single mana, which is hilarious. Okay, another Mutavault. I'm gonna kill a cat token. Pass the turn. Nothing to do here, we're chilling. Opponent's got this goose. Okay, interesting attack. Very interesting attack. Huh. I think we just trade Chariot for Chariot here. And then the Sky Sovereign just takes over. So we trade Chariots. Opponent can't eat anything. Tap 2 mana for a second Scavenging Ooze. Okay. So that makes things a little bit more complicated. Never mind. Alright, so how do we do this? I think we have to kill one of the Skuses and swing for 6. And I think we just kill the other one with Roast. This also just casually comes in for 6. And we're still dealing with the Lobstruck Beast, but next turn we're kind of killing it pretty cleanly because of the human. So I mean, Sky Sovereign looks pretty good in this matchup. Sky Sovereign looking pretty good in this matchup. So if they just swing with the Beast, there's kind of an argument to just like throw all of the cats in front of it, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I just take 5 because my opponent can have something else post combat here, and if I tap a little bit too low, I can get really punished by doing that. It's nice to not have to care about the Akron War because we can just Boseiju it. Wait, what? They have the huge dino? Oh, dude. Well, that's a big deal. Well, that's a pretty big deal. Okay, so we swing for 6. They block here 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if we find any 3-drop creature that can crew the Sky Sovereign, we win. 3-drop creature. It's not quite it. It's not quite it. So we're too short now. So we crew here, swing for 6, kill the human token, and I'm gonna have to throw a bunch of stuff in front of this thing, and I have to hope that they don't have another 1-drop because I lose to another 1-drop. But this potentially allows me to win otherwise. So crew here, swing, they block that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We would just bring them down to 2. There's no other way around it. So I think this is unfortunately the only line that's available to me. I do need to swing because it's the only way that I can actually end the game. And I think I'm going to kill the human token. As awkward as that is, we're going to have to throw Bone Crusher in front of the Imperiosaur so that I go to 1 and then I block with 2 Mutavolts and a cat. I think this is the line. It's not pretty, but the question now is, do I need both blockers? Because I can just play out Boseiju and bring Giganta to hand so that I can use Giganta next turn to crew the Sky Sovereign, so I can guarantee that I can crew it. And then alongside the cat token, that should give me lethal. Actually, yeah, I do need to do that. So we're just going to block here, and we're going to block there, and we're going to block the other mutable in here. So I cannot beat removal. But I need to have a guaranteed way of crewing. So I think this is going to be my line. Is there a reason to play the Boseiju is the question. So if I play it out, chomp, trade, lose to a 1/1, lose to any haste threat, I think we don't play it. Next turn we're going to lose this. We're going to untap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are technically able to crew with this. So we should have enough mana. There's a million things that we lose to here though, of course. Akron War. That is one of the things that kills me. One of the many things that kill me. I just don't have enough. Man, the dino just came out of left field. Dino came out of left field and just got me in the very last turn. That's brutal. I was close. That was very close. Alright, my opponent had more. Okay, never mind. So we were super dead. That was a really cool match. That was a really cool match. Finally, we get it to the last match, and this hand looks pretty damn great. So not too much to say about it. Turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Bone Crusher, Obliterating Bolt, turn 3 potentially Seeketh's Chariot. Seems decent enough. Okay, so we're playing against Llanowar Elves. That kind of sucks. I think I may want the Boseiju, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and turn 1 play Carplucent Forest. Because I think that we're clearly playing against Mono Green, and versus Mono Green, I feel like there's the potential that we really care about this Boseiju. It's not necessarily a given, but it is something that could happen. Here we're just going to stomp one of these elves, I think. I'm gonna just do this main phase. Do we want to swing? Yeah, sure. It's getting there. We already have the lands that we want for Chariot. We have the Trolls covered, which is nice. An opponent has an ETB tap land instead. They swing for 1, which is fine. I think I just play out the Chariot here. There's an argument for playing around my opponent having the 5-drop guy and maybe obliterating Bold the Elvish Mystic, but wait, what? Invasion of Ixalan? Okay, that is some tech. They found all growth troll. Perfect for this obliterating bolt that I'm dying to find a target for. Kill that. Exile, thank you very much. And let's play a Mystic. Again, I think I have some pretty good value with Boseiju here. So let's Chariot. 1, 2, 3. Done, and we're gonna swing for 6. And copy one of these dudes. Here we go. My opponent may have the Cavalier here, or potentially the 6 mana thingy. 6 mana collected company. Yeah, Storm the Festival. Just gonna hope that they don't find something too outrageous here. Funnily enough, Karn doesn't do too much on this board. They found land and Karn. Yeah, we're looking good here, I would say. I would say this means we're looking good. Hayward Might. Okay. So, what can we do here? If we Obliterating Bolt there, Obliterating Bolt plus make just Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher makes a Seekers Chariot into a thing. They take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess they can just chump block this. What if we Obliterating Bolt here? Then we swing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's still not lethal. Still not lethal. So I think we're just gonna make a lair. And yeah, I think we're just gonna Obliterating Bolt the Hayward Might so they don't gain life and they don't answer the Chariot. And then we're just gonna cast this Bone Crusher. And here we just serve at the Karn and the other 2 tokens go face. This now unlocks the Chariot. We also have Lair next turn. My opponent can potentially use some Lairs to chump, but their mana is not online. They have 7 mana. They can play another Storm, but they need to get lucky. Another Storm it is. That's an interesting way of tapping because Elvish Mystic is the chump blocker there. So they're hoping to find exactly like another land into... I guess they're hoping to find land into Cavalier? Oh no, or maybe they have another land in hand. Well, there you go. Land into Cavalier. Into another land. And now what? This is 4 mana. Oh, 5 mana. Oh, because invasion counts. Alright, that's kind of sick. I didn't really think about that, honestly. I mean, we have to have lethal here, though, right? We just have to have lethal. I don't think we even equip the Chariot. We swing with Lair. Lair is going to be a 3/3. And then we swing with this. Those are going to be the 2 that they block. And then they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they have we have exactly lethal. X equals 3. Now 4 equip here, they block there, and they don't take lethal. So it's actually better for us to not equip a Seekers Chariot. So they block here, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. If my counting is correct, this should be a lethal attack. Yep. Good blocks. Unless my opponent has a healing salve of some kind, that is exactly lethal. Perfect. Alright, so I imagine a Crown War is pretty decent here. I imagine Embercleave is pretty decent. And maybe some number of roasts. Those are kind of the cards that I'm interested in. Scavenging seems medium. Obliterating Bolt seems great. Maybe the roasts are not so good. Maybe the roasts are just kind of okay, but not super great. Hazoret? Hazoret is such a puzzle. This feels like it could be a Hazoret matchup. Let's cut 1 Sky Sovereign, 1 Chariot. Bone Crusher seems fine. Reckless Stormseeker seems fantastic. Miglos Maze Crusher seems fine. Actually seems pretty okay. Necron War seems fine. Skoo seems a little bit slow. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be kind of tough for Hazoret to get through. I don't know, I may be misboarding there. But I think that Embercleave seems good. This hand seems okay. I think Embercleave seems fine, and so does the other thing. So, seems like a decent hand. Can go turn 1 elf, turn 2, kill something. But it does have the turn 1 elf as well. Here is my elf. So I'm probably gonna go Lair now. Kiora. Alright, so Here's a roast on the creature. And another 1/1. Oath. Okay, let's see what they find. Boseiju. It's an interesting pickup. Passing the turn back. Alright, not loving that, but it's okay. We do get to attack the Kiora here. Here they do get to kill my Chariot if they want to. Looks like they're not. Oh, they play out the Boseiju. Okay, so they're just gonna play the Cavalier here. Pretty good. Pretty good. They do find Nixos, which is bad news. Ha! Obliterating Bolt is very interesting. So I think I want to crew, and then I think I want to send everything at Kiora. So if my opponent sees the Obliterating Bolt, then they will not block, they just take it. Okay, that's fine. I accept that. It allows us to go a little bit wide, which is nice. Now Nixos is going to start doing some stuff and some things, but it's not too much we can do about that. So 6/4 Storm. Okay. Troll and second Oath. They found another Cavalier. So the last card in hand is Cavalier number 2. Ugh, this is kind of rough. So I guess we're just going to have to start trying to push some damage. So if I try to do that, I want to Obliterate and Bolt the Old Growth Troll so I can limit my opponent's mana a little bit. And then we start to swing with everything. And then this is going to get blocked by the Cavalier. Oof. This is rough. This is rough. This is why I want the Embercleave, right? This is specifically why. So let's kill the troll. And I can try to bluff. How much value is there in bluffing? I think there is okay amount of value in bluffing here. So I can leave these two back to block. So we're just going to bluff here, I guess. My opponent didn't block last time, so maybe they won't block this time either. Okay, this time they actually call it. All right, that sucks. All right, there's a Cavalier. That's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Woof. So they have exactly enough mana to storm again. I mean, the window's closing here. The window is closing for the good guys. Okay, that is somewhat of a whiff. Kind of. Copium. Untap a blocker. Obliterating Bolt. Ugh. Ugh. So we can get rid of one of these Cavaliers, I guess. We can try to push some damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to combat. Swing. And I'm just gonna swing everything at them, I think. Make a dude. I don't think I can really afford for my opponent to gain a bunch of life. Thanks to gain a bunch of virtual life off of Kiora. Okay, so this time I did draw the bolt and pass it back. Opponent's down to 10. They have a pretty large amount of mana here. You're doing a lot of mana thingies. 12 mana, no big deal. Okay, it's pretty good. That is pretty good. I mean, we fought the fight here, but I feel like we have gone past the point of no return at this point. Oh, they got the Cauldron. This probably means that, yeah, probably means that I'm dead. I'm honestly not really familiar with how this combo works, and I'm not about to find out right now, so I'm not about to try to figure this thing out right here. So, oh, they just got the Pestilent Cauldron for value. That's it. Okay, even more mana. Just the Casual 10 Devotion. Sure. Well, that's not gonna cut it. Let's go to game number 3. Let's go to game number 3. Now we're gonna be in the play. I think I like Sky Sovereign a lot better. I think I don't like the roasts, and I can probably have a Hazoret here. I'm gonna do like 3 Chariots, 1 Hazoret, see what's up. But I definitely want the Cleave. Ooh, interesting hand. Okay, keep this one. Very interesting hand. So I do like that this hand is kind of aggressive. I do like that. And we're definitely aligning strike my opponent's elf onto, I think. Would be great to draw a Bone Crusher Giant, but even if we don't, yeah, this is definitely the kind of hand that you just shock that thing and be happy about it, you know? Alright, have a bunch of elves. So let's make a red thing here, and I think we go for Stormseeker and swing. Point on taps here. And if they play a Cavalier, we're just gonna get to steal it and we're gonna get to swing with it, which is nice. They also played out the Boseiju, meaning that we don't have to, I guess, play around that. Alright, here's an Akron War. Would like to steal your thingy, please. And give it haste, don't mind me. Swing for 8. Down to 9, opponent goes. Kind of would love to find, what's his name here? I think that if we find the... Nice. Okay, so now what? Now what? So if I steal the Polukranos, my opponent's gonna get back their Cavalier next turn. And then I guess I just swing through. Because I force the chumps here. 5, 6, 7. Opponent goes down to 2. And then next turn I'm gonna have another Stormseeker. Because the other thing I can do here is I can swing with Cavalier and Miglos. And save the Akron War for next turn. This is actually really close. Miglos can swing for 5. Forcing my opponent to chump with the Cavalier. Oof, this one is really, really close. The thing is, if I steal Polukranos, my opponent does not get their Cavalier back until the following turn. The problem is if I draw a land, I'm not going to be able to double spell on the following turn. So this turn is actually really close. I do feel like limiting my opponent's mana is priority number 1. So I think I'm just going to do this. So we're going to steal that. We're going to target there. And we're going to swing with everything. It's going to force at least one chump with limits what my opponent can do with their mana. And then next turn we can hopefully go really wide. Also, this thing is not going to be available to block because it needs to attack. So I think that this was the better line. My opponent's going to get back their Cavalier. Sure. Oh, so they're just going to untap main phase and play another one to block. So now if I draw a land, now if I draw an untap land, I'm gonna be good. Okay. So they get back their dude, and yeah, we have 3 attackers. We have 3 attackers with my opponent at 3. So trigger there, move to combat, swing everything at you. All right, that was something. Woo! 4-1. Well, so that looked very impressive. There are a couple of things that I'm not a big fan of. Like, Hazoret just felt really clunky, and it felt like it was the card that I immediately wanted to side out in basically every single matchup. So that makes me think that this is probably not where you want to be. Also, I think that the split between Obliterating Bolt and Lightning Strike is not the most terrible idea I've ever thought of. Like, I think it actually is very defensible. And we did have multiple situations where Lightning Strike was kind of better than the Obliterating Bolt, right? Roast also to kill Shield, right, is kind of a big deal. That key 5th point of toughness is really, really big. And so the sideboard having a bunch of Roasts makes a lot of sense, particularly considering how good Mono Black and Black Red, I guess, are in the format right now. But I think Cleaves could potentially be in the main deck, and the Dino looked really impressive. I have to say, when we played the Pseudo Mirror, my opponent had the Dino and I didn't. I felt like I was pretty far behind. Like, I didn't see it in the entire match up until that very last turn, kind of. But it came down and was just like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, nothing I do matters. This game is very much over. So that's something to keep in mind. I did like the Miglos. I think Miglos did a pretty good amount of work. I was kind of impressed by it. Also, Scavenginus did a pretty good amount of work in this. It's funny, because Scavenginus kind of did more work for my opponent than for me. But there were multiple scenarios where I was saying, okay, like, I think Scavenginus is my best draw right here. Like, they just happened over and over again. So it made me wonder whether we wanted to have maybe access to 1 extra copy. I think that could be very reasonable. Even in the sideboard, it could be like an interesting inclusion. Then, like, this card was just so impressive. Shout out to Reckless Stormseeker. Like, this card was just nuts. Like, it was so good. Every time I had it, like, it just allowed me to set up lethal over multiple turns. Like, we saw how insane it was in that very last game that I played. I could have never won that game without having access to this card. Like, this card just was incredible. So Stormseeker is great, and this felt like a great deck to take advantage of it, because the stuff that you are giving haste to is really strong, be it like a Sky Sovereign, a Seek's Chariot and stuff, although we never got to live that dream, unfortunately, throughout this league. So yeah, so what I would say is, like, I don't think I like the Hasserets. They are like a nice easy cut for either Dinos or Embern Cleaves going to the main deck. And Scavenging Ooze, maybe more copies, that's something that I would consider as well. I do wonder, however, whether this deck has too many removal spells, because Bone Crusher is like a split card of removal spell plus threat, but these cards are just solely removal spells, and this deck really wants to get to the board nice and early, and it wants to like stay ahead throughout the whole thing. So that means that every non-creature that you draw, like, or any non-mana elf, kind of has a pretty significant cost. So I do wonder whether, like, this is one too many removal spells, maybe two too many removal spells in the main deck. Obviously, you're going to want more removal spells in the sideboard, you know, particularly stuff like Fry and specifically Roast for Sheoldred. Like, those are the cards that you want to be, you know, watching out for, because these are certain cards that you cannot really win against otherwise. But maybe it's like one too many removal spells in the main deck. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the deck looked very impressive. Like, we were able to beat. I mean, the only loss was the mirror, right? We were able to beat Black Red. We were able to beat the Mono Green deck, Greasefang even, like, which is like a combo deck. So it looked really impressive. So if this, I mean, if I were into Pioneer, I think this would be a sort of deck that I would gravitate, you know, like, where combat math really matters, and, like, you know, where you send your attacks and, like, how you sequence your threats really matters. And also Reckless Stormseeker is like, it's just a really fun card. Like, this is one of my favorite cards that has been printed in the past like 5 years or something. The only problem is that it has the worst mechanic of all time. So probably tied with Companion, but like one of the worst mechanics of all time in Daybound and Nightbound. So I really would never want to play this deck in paper, because I would totally forget for that to keep track of that. But that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much, Zach, for the dono. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy the content right here. And for those of you watching, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on the way out. And I'll see you in the next video, folks. Take care. Bye bye.